I don't know about you, but I accumulate a whole lot of mail because I don't want to get rid of it for fear that people might get my information. And I'm looking forward to trying out a product I found called the Blade Blocker. It's actually part of the ID Police brand where they're supposed to be able to block out sensitive information where you do not have to have fear of getting your information taken. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw, we are looking at the Blade Blocker. It's an update from the ID Police that we reviewed not that long ago. You know what? Enough talking about this product. Let's get right into the review to see if it works. Before we open it, let's do a quick comparison with the original ID Police. I should have said that the Blade Blocker cost me $20. So the original ID Police was just an ink roller that when you rolled it out, it put ID Police over top your private information. Of course, we found that didn't really work. Either it rubbed off, you can see through it, it just wasn't any good. So I'm hoping this Blade Blocker is an upgrade to that process. But look at this, I'm so excited. It has a built-in box cutter or built-in letter opener. That should be convenient. Now, let's open this up. There's no perforated edges on this thing. I actually need the Blade Blocker just to get in. But you know what? I've got my zip snip. Let's do that. I just cut the edges off, and I forgot to mention this actually has replaceable or refillable ink, but it looks like one of mine burst open, maybe just at the top, but that's interesting. They actually included refillable ink. That must have been a concern from the original ID Police. Here we are unboxed, and just for fun, I actually bought another roller stamp to test it out against the Blade Blocker. This one's called LioNergy. I think that's how you pronounce the name, and this one was actually $17, so it was a little less expensive. Plus, it has a 2-inch roll. I just wanted to see how it would compete with the Blade Blocker. To access the blade, you just pull it up right here and it clicks into place. You think the blade is actually on this side, but realistically it's on this side, just this little piece here at the top. To put it back in, you push the lever down on the left and you fold down your knife. Let's look at that from the other side so you can see the blade. See how you have that V here where the blade will be? So that's what you're going to want to use to cut into something. All right, so I picked up a package here from my P.O. box. I actually don't know what's in there, so I'm excited to open that together. This does have one of those envelopes that you can just peel off the tab and it opens it pretty easily, but that wouldn't be fun. We're testing the Blade Blocker blade. All right, so I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in here. Remember, my blade is right here. I'm sorry, I just lost focus a little bit. All right, so we're gonna put this in here. So we're just going down easily. If I stay in focus, it's actually doing a pretty good job. Keep going, hopefully I don't lose focus, but you know what? If you're intentional about what you're doing, you're only using that blade part. Ooh, watch your hand. It actually did a pretty good job. You guys wanna see what's in here? All right, let's pull it out. It says waterproof case. I wonder what that is. Anyway, you might see that in a future review. If you look at my cut, it's not a straight cut, but I didn't really care to save the paper. It does look like it's a pretty decent cut. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue cutting all the way around this envelope. Remember, always using the part that's the blade to do the cutting. I think it would have been more convenient if they would have had it on the other side. I mean, it does take a fair amount of effort, and I guess as far as letter openers go, it's okay. Just cut through there, no problem. I'm gonna try right down from the middle here. I should say, as with everything, all kinds of knives, this will go dull over time, so my experience now might be different in a little while, but I'm not too disappointed with how this is cutting. Does it cut? Yes, it takes a little getting used to, but it kind of does the job. Put that away though. All right, so first, let's block off this shipping label. I'm just gonna roll across. All right, that's pretty cool. I do like that it can do that, except if you remember last time, it didn't really block it that well. Let's take a closer look. So I zoomed in down here, and although it's pretty well covered, you can see where it says Jeff Reviews right there, P.O. Box, and then of course I didn't cover up this part down here. Did it block it initially? Yes, but it doesn't really cover it thoroughly. You know, I remember that it smudged the last time. Let's see what it does here. Oh yeah, that's one thing I did not like from the last time. I'm gonna see if I can swipe this across a few more times to see if that helps. All right, we'll go up and down and up and maybe across and maybe that way. That looks like a lot of marking. Let's get a close-up of that. So that's a big no-no. The more I used, the easier it was to see what was written underneath. That doesn't make any sense. Let's see how our LioNergy one does on this same type of packaging. All right, so we can't go across up top, so we're gonna go right across the skew line right here. Right there, let's see how that looks up close. I do like that this one is a 2-inch marking off roller as opposed to the 1-inch from the blade blocker. Well, that one is just as disappointing. I can still see the numbers that are written underneath there. I'm not sure how much of my identity has been saved here. We're gonna just leave this until tomorrow. See, that just smudged on that one too. I'm gonna see if it sets any differently and maybe it blocks what was written better, but we'll check in on this in about 24 hours. So that mailing label was more of a glossy look or a glossy feel, and this is just regular paper. And of course, this is just a sample bill. What I'll do is I will try the blade blocker on the one on the right, and I will try my LioNergy one on the left to see maybe it helps on this kind of paper. Here goes nothing. Blocking off the name. Let's see, I'm just gonna block off what I had service-wise. All right, that's good. This side, let's see. Blocking off things here. Well, I do like the 2-inch roller. If this really works, that will be awesome. You got a whole lot more space covered with just one swipe. All right, let's take a look to see how that worked. I don't know, in my opinion, it looks like it did a much better job on this regular paper. I really can't make out a whole lot of the writing that was underneath. That's actually pretty impressive. I noticed the same thing for the other one. Let's look at that. It's just really hard to make out what was written there. You know what I want to try though? I want to see if I blacken this out even more, if I'll be able to read the writing underneath. So, tell me, what are your thoughts of the blade blocker or the other identity protection rollers? Something you would use? Not so much? Do you have a different tip to protect your sensitive information? Let us know down in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. Well, here's one of them. I used the LioNergy one and I blackened it out and I can actually read exactly what was written underneath. That is so strange. I thought it was going to be awesome, but no, that does not protect my identity. I'll try the blade blocker now. All right, so darkening out the blade blocker also just reveals what's written underneath. I am not actually going to refill this one, but if you wanted to, you cut this tip off of this ink and you stick it right here on the side. It's the right side, and if you don't know which one's the right or the left, the side with the blade on it, and you actually just put that in there and squeeze your ink in, and you just hope and pray that it goes all the way through. I was just so hopeful that this was going to work. I was thinking that the blade blocker was going to be an upgrade from the original ID Police, but it's just the same, which makes you think, does the company actually try the product before they ship it out? Because, man, this didn't work at all. My opinion, if you want to really protect your confidential information, skip the rollers and just get yourself a $50 shredder like this one. In this video, we were looking at the blade blocker and the LioNergy identity protection rollers. So what did we think? First things first, they retail between $17 and $20, which honestly wouldn't be a whole lot of money if they actually worked. But as we saw from this video, did not work. In fact, the blade blocker was really disappointed because we thought it was going to be an upgrade from the original ID Police. And although it did have a pretty handy box cutter or knife with it, and I found a lot of use out of that, the ink and the roller was exactly the same, and that's the whole point of this, is to block off your sensitive information. And sad to say, it just didn't work. I will say, I guess you could use one of these rollers in conjunction with a shredder, therefore your personal information is not only blocked, but it's also shredded so no one could put it back together. I don't know, just a thought. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I wanted to make sure I followed up with this one after the 24-hour period, and now it is no longer wet, so I can touch it and does not smear. That being said, I can still see through what the blockers are blocking. I can actually read what's still there. I did try this on lots of different types of paper, glossy, cardstock, all sorts of things, and I got the same result every time. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the blade blocker, and of course we talked about the original ID Police review, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that video right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you right here. So go ahead, click it, it's safe, I promise.